Coach, how do you feel the off-season preparation has gone, and how excited are you to start another season?
Yeah, we're pretty excited. This is the start of my 31st season, so been doing this for a long time. Pretty new team. We graduated a gigantic class of 12. Pretty much our entire back defensive line graduated, so we have some challenges to fill. And the preseason has been really exciting. We have some really fun young freshmen come in that are very skilled, very athletic. I think a couple of them are going to step in right away and really help us a lot. And I'm hoping there'll be a quick transition as they ramp up into the college game and help us win some games.
What have been your main takeaways from the preseason and the scrimmage so far?
Just, I think our team culture is just really fantastic. One of the things that we emphasize and talk so much about, we think it's our superpower, is our team culture. And, this team, the captains have really bought in. We had a chance to go to Costa Rica this year a couple weeks ago, and that just reinforces that. We're able to spend a lot of time together, get to know each other really well on a super personal level, and just really talk a lot about culture and how important that is and how that can be the difference, that small inch sometimes that makes a difference between winning and losing. And again, I think the new freshmen understand, they get it, and the upperclassmen are doing just a great job of teaching and setting a really high bar and a high standard. And I think from that perspective, we're ready to go. So it's exciting.
Can you talk a little bit about that trip this summer and sort of the bonding experience that went on there and what you guys were able to do?
Yeah, it was my 7th trip, so I've been going to Costa Rica for a long time with the same group, and so it's always, I get really excited when I can show them some of the cool things that we get to do in Costa Rica. But we had a chance to play some really good soccer teams. We played 2 top Division I professional teams, and then we played a Division II team. And so, we didn't have our full force there, and so we had, it sort of showed us what we needed to work on, which is great. And that sort of helped us predetermine a little bit what we were going to do at preseason. And then the best part's just the culture and having a chance to experience Pure Vida, which is that pure life, and we had a chance to do zip lines. We had a chance to go out in a catamaran and see maybe one of the most beautiful sunsets we've ever seen in our lives. We had a chance to go whitewater rafting and just hang out at a beautiful beach. And so all that time, in long bus rides, the team were getting a chance to get to know each other. And they love this game called Mafia, and they just play nonstop, and we got a little crazy from up in front of the bus, but it just was really good. They never weren't interacting. They weren't, it was just a good time to really get to know each other at a really deep personal level. And again, those are things really important, because when you really know someone, it's hard to be mean for them. It's pretty easy then to support them and want them to do well, and I think that's what we're seeing this preseason.
Coach, whenever you lose the amount of production that you guys have from last year to this season, obviously there's going to need to be people that step up and plug those gaps. Who have been a few players that have really impressed you during the preseason that could be those players during this?
Yeah, I think that the upperclassmen coming back, that some of the returners, Madeline Boyce is going to do a great job. I think Lauren Orner in the midfield, Ava Olsen, Maddie Olsen are guys that are going to do really good. We're excited about our goalkeeper situation with Kate. I think she's doing a great job. And then some of the freshmen we think are going to step in right away. Luna, a freshman, Hartotic, I don't think I said her name right, but she'll probably be starting at center back. And we have a fun, I think one of the more exciting tactical forward group we've ever had. We're going to be super deep in the front line in the attack, and they do some really cool stuff off the ball that usually takes a long time to develop. We can spend 3 or 4 years getting players to understand sort of space, and these players have come in and they get it already, and so we can immediately move from the tactical to the technical and just refine some of their ability to score, and so we're excited about that. Sadie Bruton's one of those players, and Michaela Hargrove's going to come in and play right away. And I think some of Morgan Oliver is returning, is just a really great player for us. So we just got a lot of good guys that it's going to be a neat mix. It's going to be a great mix of returning upperclassmen that have some experience. Madeline Boyce was one of our leading scorers last year, and just some really new, fresh players. And we have a couple players coming off injury. Elise Pham's coming off an injury last year, wasn't able to play, and she's one of the more creative players that I've ever coached. And so it'll be fun to watch her and see how she can perform out there and how she'll pull the strings and out of that midfield and make the cool things happen.
What are some goals and expectations that you hope to have for this team this year?
Well, one, we do want to win the ODAC. So we've been disappointed 2 years in a row not to win that. We absolutely want to get back to the NCAA tournament and try to go as deep as we can and have some success there. And then just have I want the kids just to have a great soccer experience. That's always one of my goals, that they're going to come away from the season saying that was maybe one of the best things I've experienced in my life from a soccer perspective. And so we're going to do everything we can to build the culture to allow that to happen. And part of that, you got to win. Winning's sort of a big part of that and a big part of our culture. And I think they understand that, and I think we have the pieces to make it work and to win. It'll just be how quickly we can come together with again, having lost 12 seniors to graduation, and how quickly we can plug guys in, and if they step up. You never know who's going to step up and not, and we'll be crossing our fingers and hope that happens.
Is there a specific non-conference game that you're most excited for this season?
We play Emory. That's always a big game. We're going to play in a neutral site down in Charlotte, and it's just a great game for the region. We got knocked off the last year or two from them, and we need to get a win. That becomes a really important win. Winning that game often propels you to the NCAA tournament, no matter what happens in the ODAC. And so we're excited about that one, and just I think we have a really good schedule. I think it preps us and prepares us to be in a really good place at the end of the season when the NCAA bids come out, irrespective of what happens in the ODAC.
Coach, you talked about obviously losing some leaders from last year, but how do you feel the leaders that have taken on leadership roles so far throughout the season? This preseason?
Yeah, really good. So we're excited about our captains. We're excited about our seniors. Again, we don't have a big class. It's a pretty small senior class, but the leadership, I think they get it. They've seen things that we could have done better in the past. They've seen things that were great, and they're going to emulate that, and so we're excited about all those things. And again, I think they're all really on the same page. We spent a lot of time past spring, doing leadership training so that they sort of understand what the coaching staff wants in leaders. Sometimes it's hard if you're not sure what your goal is, and we've tried to all put everybody on the same page so that we can all be going towards the same goal with mostly the same philosophy. And I think that's going to put us in a really good place. And so far they've been fantastic. So they've been really exceptional leaders, and I think they're doing a really good job of, we have 14 freshmen, and they're doing a really good job of integrating those freshmen into our program and into our culture, as I said before.
Have you been able to identify a key strength of this year's group?
Yeah, I think it's going to be creativity. I think we're going to be one of the more creative teams, and which will be fun. And it's going to be really fun watching things happen off the ball. It's not just when you're watching this year, don't just watch the ball. Watch some of the cool stuff that's going on away from the ball, because that's the creative stuff, and that's the thing that's really hard to defend, and that's, to me, that defines a really special team. And I think we've got creative players. We're going to have players that love to go forward. We're going to have, just a really, I think, a vibrant attack with a lot of players trying to get as many players forward as possible, and I think we have the players that have that mentality to attack, and and that's sort of what our goal will be. You'll hear me a lot from the sidelines saying turn and go, and attack, and that's sort of what we want to generate, just this crazy high-octane offense that's going to be hard to stop.
Coach, reflecting back to that 2014 team, obviously they're going to be recognized this year in the Hall of Fame. Desi Ducoy and Angela Bosca are also being inducted this year in the Hall of Fame. Can you just say a few words about them and that team?
Yeah, again, just one of the more special teams I've ever coached, obviously. They went 27-0-1 and won a national championship, and Desi and Angela were probably two of the best players I've ever coached. One of the things that was special about them was their ability, their creativity on and off the ball. And that's why I'm excited about this year. I haven't seen this level of creativity since that group, since those forwards and some of the things that they could do. And so it gets me really excited and almost goosebumps at times when I go, whoa, I've seen that before. And we won a lot of soccer games, and we have that kind of play. So again, that team is sort of just set a standard for this program, and even the college. I think at the University of Lynchburg, we've seen that that's achievable, and we've had a lot of success since. And I don't want to take any credit for that, but I think sometimes when you set a high bar and you show that things are possible, then people start to believe it. And I think our team believes we can do it again. And I know people at this university believe different teams can do it again and continue the success. So, again, that team will go down. Again, it's one of my favorite teams I've ever coached and one of the coolest experiences I've ever had. And, and again, it just set a super high bar. And so I'm excited that we can remember them a little bit. I'll use that throughout the year to talk to this group about, what we can achieve if we all work together, if the culture's just right. And I think, we're going to be able to use that in a really positive way this year.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach.
Okay.